possess. In the National Hockey Night Dictionary, rivals are defined as two teams at the top of the NHL's elite who don't like each other and aren't afraid to show it. The Red Wings and the Avalanche are next. ESPN2's National Hockey Night welcomes you once again to downtown Detroit, the latest edition of this great rivalry, the Detroit Red Wings playing host to the Colorado Avalanche. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Strader. As baseball gets set to crown their team of the decades, we've got hockey's version of the rivalry of the decades, and a lot of the same faces that have made this a great rivalry are certainly here tonight. Darren Pang with Patrick Waugh, Chris Osgood, Darren McCarty, Claude Lemieux, and the rest. But to keep a rivalry fresh, you need some new faces in there. Colorado has some of the best young faces in the game.
I think Colorado the last couple of years have been accused and a little bit guilty of being a little bit lacking depth on their entire roster, but that's not the case anymore. They have three of the finest young forwards in the National Hockey League, and they're going to get a quick feel for how intimidating, how tough this rivalry is. Milan Hajduk last year was a finalist for the Rookie of the Year. He has started out on fire with 6 goals. Drury won the award last year as the Rookie of the Year, and Alex Tanguay came to them as a first-round draft pick, 12th overall. Let's get to Milan Hajduk this year and some of the goals that he has scored, because they've been breathtaking. This in Montreal where they won 2-1, and he scored both their goals. Just a fantastic little toe drag move right in the slot, and he is showing more and more confidence and more patience with the puck. And I tell you, that really spells some of the offensive load off guys like Joe Sakic, and especially when a guy like Peter Forsberg's out of the lineup. These young players have been terrific.
A player for the Red Wings that's been in the middle of the rough stuff in this rivalry is gaining more attention for his good play of late.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And when you think of Brendan Shanahan for the Detroit Red Wings, here's a guy that twice scored 50 or more goals in the NHL. He's known as a sniper. Well, Brendan Shanahan has cleaned up all areas of his hockey game. He's blocking shots. He's making some of the little plays. He scored the game-winning goal in their last game in Chicago, a 1-0 victory. Darren McCarty and Steve Yzerman are on that line, and they've been pretty good as of late.
First meeting of the regular season, a lot of time has passed since the playoffs last spring. Do you expect any carryover in this rivalry?
Well, it's funny. Last year in their season series, they only averaged 29 penalty minutes per game. The league average was 32, but just when you least expect it, look out.
Well, I'll tell you what, the two goaltenders that are playing against each other tonight have met at center ice here at the Joe Louis Arena. But you know what? They do their best work when they stay about 180 feet apart. More on these two coming up next.
Pay-per-view is your choice for top Hollywood entertainment. With pay-per-view, the hits come right into your home, hassle-free, instantly. It's the easy way to treat friends and family to first-run fun. And everyone watches for one low price, making pay-per-view one of the best entertainment values around. Just pick the showing you want to see and follow the simple pay-per-view ordering instructions. Before you know it, you'll be enjoying the movie of your choice right in your home. Big hits, small price. There's nothing to it when you pay-per-view it.
You can have the selection some furniture clearance centers offer. Or you can have a whole warehouse full of incredible clearance bargains in the Harlem Furniture Clearance Center at our Lombard location. Truckloads of furniture arrive daily from all 12 Harlem stores at savings up to 70%. Fine chairs from $59, sofas from $199, dinettes from $159. But hurry, what's here today may be gone tomorrow at the huge Harlem Clearance Center, Route 53 and North Avenue.
I don't have a pulse.
Get him to the OR now! Go!
Life and death.
Scalpel, your husband passed away during his operation.
Love and tears.
I've given up a lot to get here, you know.
They're a part of every life.
We're doing everything we can. You're gonna be okay.
And on Lifetime, they're a part of every day.
What do you expect to buy him?
Anything I can.
Don't miss a moment. Chicago Hope.
Central DuPage Hospital. The age of possibility is here.
ESPN2, Friday Night Fights. This week's main event, Bryant Brannon defends his USBA super middleweight title against James Butler. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 9 on ESPN2.
Hey, you want to see some cool shots?
Yeah. It's time to lace them up for the hottest half hour on television. NHL Cool Shots gets you up close and personal with the coolest athletes on earth.
How'd you find out about that? That's unbelievable.
77.
What kind of lens is this?
78.
How with the backhand?
That's cool.
Catch Cool Shots every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and later in the week on ESPN2.
All right, that's the end. Cut it.
as many memorable moments as this rivalry has produced, I think this battle at center ice in this building between Chris Osgood and Patrick Waugh surprised a lot of us. Dave Straderback along with Darren Pang, but I don't think we should be surprised at how well both of these guys are playing right now.
No, we shouldn't be, because both guys, when they get on top of their games, they are amongst the best in the NHL. What may be surprising is that Patrick Waugh has been so good this early in the season. Usually it takes him a little bit of time, but you see the goals against average of 2.21. Many believe that this is Patrick's best start in the regular season in his career. As far as Chris Osgood is concerned, you ask many of the Detroit Red Wing hockey players who the key has been, and it has been Chris Osgood's play. He's undefeated so far.
There's been bad blood between these two teams. A lot of it has happened in the playoffs. Will there be more tonight? It's been a memorable rivalry, and the next chapter between the Red Wings and the Avalanche coming up next on ESPN2's National Hockey Night.
She's been chosen. The eve of the dark angel.
Rated R.
Hey, we gotta talk. That stuff only protects my vital parts for about 30,000 miles. And then what happens? You gotta change it. Make it easy on yourself. Give me Avalanche Extended Life Antifreeze. It protects my sensitive parts for 5 years or 150,000 miles. That's 5 times longer than most of those conventional coolants. Now, let's talk oil. Hey! Avalanche Extended Life Antifreeze. Add more life to your car.
ESPN2's coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Rogaine Extra Strength for Men. Welcome back to downtown Detroit. This is inside the Hockey Town Cafe, located about 1 mile from the Joe Louis Arena next to the Fox Theater. These fans not lucky enough to be among the 20,000 that have tickets for tonight's game between the Red Wings and the Avalanche, but they will be enjoying the telecast from nearby Hockey Town Cafe. Back along with Darren Pang and the rest of our ESPN2 National Hockey Night crew. Glad you're with us. The Red Wings just 1 loss on the season, taking on the Colorado Avalanche, who have had to play so much of this first month on the road, but still playing well, mainly because of their goaltender's fine play.
Well, 3 more wins and he matches Terry Sawchuk, but when you look at the scouting report and some of the keys to Patrick Waugh, certainly his strengths, his leadership, his heart and his mind, his butterfly style. He's one of the best at giving the 5-hole and taking it away, and his keys are certainly the decisions that he makes with the puck. That makes their breakout much more successful out of the defensive zone. His counterpart, Chris Osgood, he has been excellent this year. His strengths, reflexes, terrific. Calm under fire, nothing seems to rattle him. His keys to success, patience.
Now we are underway. The Sergei Fedorov line against the Joe Sakic line to start things off. And Lidstrom back behind his own net, hands it to his familiar defense partner, Larry Murphy. Lidstrom center ice now for Fedorov, a bouncing puck. Recovered by Darren McCarty. McCarty across the line, but that play ruled offside.
Darren McCarty starts off on a different line, while Claude Lemieux is also on a different line. I don't expect McCarty to stay on the line that he is on right now, but for Claude Lemieux, he has been switched for this hockey game on the main line with Joe Sakic on the one side and Milan Hajduk, who had been playing right wing, on the left side. Claude Lemieux feels much more comfortable on the right wing, so he's right now squared off with Thomas Holmstrom, who's a left winger on this line with Fedorov and McCarty.
Right away, Scotty Bowman makes the switch, and Doug Brown comes out on right wing to join Fedorov. And Holmstrom here is Brown, wrapping it along the boards behind Waugh. Holmstrom will get there. He lets it go. It's picked up by Claude Lemieux on the right wing side for the Avalanche. He'll wrist it high up on the glass behind Osgood. Milan Hajduk behind the net for Sakic, could not control. Avalanche have not played since last Saturday night, an overtime victory in Atlanta. Fedorov across the line, moving in on Oselich. Couldn't get the shot away. Good job by Oselich to tie him up with a stick. Lidstrom will drive a shot deflected well wide of Waugh. Now Larry Murphy's shot deflected by Holmstrom, who reached out with one hand on the stick. Holmstrom again, given a shove by Sakic. Bounces back up. Little chip pass off the boards. Fedorov now to Doug Brown behind the net. Brown looking for somebody out in front. Brown hanging on, goes to Fedorov. Fedorov, a pass in front. Holmstrom knocked down with no call coming. Two referees working tonight. Bill McCreary is the veteran who has the best look at that hit on Holmstrom, and Lance Roberts is the other one. Andy McKelman and Ray Scapanello are the linesmen.
One of the things that might have hurt Holmstrom is he has had a tendency to go down quite easily, and that's why Aaron Miller might have got the benefit.
Backhand shot by Eiserman will stop Shanahan on the follow-up. Stephon Yell now for the Avalanche. Plays it up the far side. It's cleared by Perdine, and then he is cleared by McCarty.
McCarty is blindsided in there. Sean Perdine did not expect that at all.
Crowd reacting to a couple of hits from Chris Chelios. Shanahan now. Quick pass. Taken out by Steve Duchesne. Loose puck in the Avalanche zone. McCarty trying to draw a penalty. Now working hard against Martin School, the young defenseman, nearly took it away. Dave Reed for the Avalanche now plays it into the Detroit zone.
Darren McCarty has been a real spark on this line with Eiserman and Brendan Shannon, really losing his feet after being a contract holdout to begin the year. He's showing plenty of gusto on the forecheck.
Adam Deadmarsh. There's the far side. Now it comes back to Deadmarsh, being watched by Matthew Dandino. Centering pass between the circles. It is intercepted by Slava Kozlov. He'll start it back for Detroit. Kozlov drops it for Larionov. Makes a little move along the boards, and then we're taken off the puck there by Eric Messier. Red Wings get it right back. Yuri Fisher hands off to Kozlov. A little move at center ice. Now it goes to Larionov. Larionov waits. Hands it back to Fisher, but the puck came out of the zone and was carried in offside.
Rob Hartley doing an excellent job in his second year as head coach of the Colorado Avalanche. They're only averaging 2.3 goals for per game. But on the road, they're .500 so far, 3-3-2. And they played a lot of games away from their new Pepsi Center. One of the things when you're a young coach and you're without a star player like Peter Forsberg for a long period of time, you've got to sell that team concept. And this team has done exceptionally well without Peter Forsberg in their lineup. 23-13-6 all-time with Forsberg out of the lineup. So as a coach, we're trying to get everybody into different roles and bigger roles and more responsibility. Long-term, you're not going to have success, but short-term, you can really maximize the fact that your big guys out of the lineup.
Yuri Butsayev now for Detroit. Sends it ahead on the far side, racing after a Draper. Out of the net comes Patrick Waugh. He'll play it around the boards. Butsayev got there, takes from the block, and Waugh squeezes the pads together and makes his first tough save of the night.
Ooh, Lapointe just had a little spin around type of shot, and that is a difficult play for a goaltender. And if you notice that Patrick Waugh was on the ice covering the low part of the ground, but his stick wasn't on the ice, so he was very fortunate. The knees of his pads got on there to cover up the low shot. Patrick Waugh went to the backhand around the net, and as I talked about before, the puck decisions in your own zone, you have to have great communication with your defensemen. They have to know at all times. A lot of times when a goaltender goes behind the net, he'll go to his forehand. Patrick Waugh kind of fooled everybody by going to the weak side on his backhand like that, and because of that, there was a little bit of miscommunication, and he has to come up with a pretty good save.
He's up deep in the Colorado zone. Holmstrom wins the battle, back to Larry Murphy. Hit shot right through and a save made. Puck cleared by the Avalanche defense. Claude Lemieux's pass though is knocked down. Picked up by Sakic. Sakic, top of the circle, takes a look. His pass did not quite get through to Claude Lemieux. And now it comes to Nicholas Lidstrom. Lidstrom finds Holmstrom center ice. Little backhand flip trying to lead Doug Brown. Brown will backhand it in deep. Long out of the net to play it back along the boards. Brown was there, hands it off. Fedorov for the drive. That caromed up an Avalanche player. Comes back to the line. Brown deflects it to the corner. Now Holmstrom for Fedorov. Fedorov working against Skula. Again, the young defenseman. Centering attempt intercepted by Sakic. Good position defensively for the Avalanche captain Joe Sakic. Now Skula's play was broken up and it's cleared by the wings back into the Colorado zone.
Greg DeVries, the defenseman, went for a line change, so if the Red Wings were aware of that and kept control, they would have had an odd man break, if not even a partial breakaway on the one side. Meanwhile, Joe Sakic, he wears a visor. He had a puck in the face in their last game right around the the right eye. But anytime Joe Sakic's on the ice, you're going to see Nicholas Lidstrom on the ice. And Nicholas Lidstrom is just so good at containing a player. Now, Lidstrom here reads the play. He's going to try to shut down the time and space of Joe Sakic. He's going to take away any kind of space. Give him a little hook right there. Take an exception to the stick work by Joe Sakic earlier than that. With the tandem of Larry Murphy and Nicholas Lidstrom, they will be on the ice with the #1 offensive line from the Colorado Avalanche. What that does, it opens up the ice for the other guys of the Colorado Avalanche. And the one line that you've got to look at there is the Drury line with Alex Tanguay and Adam Dedma. So maybe they can create a little bit of offense to help relieve Joe Sakic's line.
Easy stop here for Osgood, and he'll hang on. Mentioned that the Avalanche have not played since Saturday night, nor have the Red Wings, where they won 1-0 in Chicago.
And for the Avalanche, Dave, their road schedule has just been horrendous. Only a couple of home games. It's been a long, long road trip for them. One of their goals at the beginning was to be 500. And so far they're doing so. Yep. Their overall record's 5-3-2. As I mentioned on the road, they are 500.
Playing here tonight, tomorrow night in Philadelphia, also on ESPN2 to wrap up 10 out of 12 on the road. Osgood stopped that long shot by Yell. Now Chelios lays it back along the board. Brendan Shanahan had it in his skate, so Duchesne lays it ahead. McCarty backhands it across center ice. It is taken away and flipped right back into the wing zone, and Osgood will clear that.
And he's looking to headman the puck up to Steve Duchesne, and he put it too far ahead of him. So an easy interception there for the Avalanche.
Chris Drury tried to play it back into the Detroit zone. Intercepted Shanahan. Hands it off now. Matthew Dandino up the right side. Ozelin angles into the corner, but Dandino still got to the puck. Now the Avalanche recover. Ozelin plays it ahead. Kozlov there for Detroit. Puck comes free. It is poked loose now. Larionov hands it off to Kozlov. Kozlov on the backhand. Aaron Miller knocked it away from him. Ozelin tries to clear. Aaron Ward got a stick on it, but the Wings have to regroup at center ice. Here comes Kozlov. Good poke check there as the Avalanche were making a change.
Very good play by Sandis Ozelin. We've got to keep our eye on Ozelin for this hockey game. They're already short-handed defensively. Kling out of the lineup, Adam Foote out of the lineup, and Gusarov out of the lineup. And judging by this morning, I tell you, Ozelin looked like he was a little under the weather.
Yeah.
And so look for some side effects of maybe a flu there from Sandis Ozelin, who has logged a lot of minutes. In their last game against Atlanta, he was right around 28 minutes. And a lot of times get a little run down, especially early on in the season. So far, only one goal. He was actually making a little bit of fun of that. He's done only one goal so far. But I mean, Sandis Ozelin is a guy that is a roving type of defenseman. That when you have a full complement of players, Adam Foote, Gusarov, John Clem, then he's able to play his role.
That's right.
Right now, there's a little bit more responsibility, and the main priority isn't to create offense. It's to play a solid, 3 zones.
Twice in his career, he has scored 20 goals, and one year was named to the NHL's first All-Star team, Sandis Ozelin. Here's Patrick Law out of the net to play it around the boards, waiting on the right wing side, Sean Donovan. Lidstrom got a stick on it, but it's recovered now by Dingman. Dingman, number 11. Barreling into the wing zone. Osgood will move it up the boards away from him. Puck is deflected right back. Dingman has it, wheels, fires it wide of the Detroit goal. Eric Messier moving in from the point. He's checked on the play. And it's cleared by Lapointe, who accidentally took a stick up high. And Lapointe looked around at one of the officials, but not going to get a call. Lidstrom moves in, holds it in. Now Draper along the end board. Draper one-hands it back as this line tries to do some cycling in the Avalanche zone. Draper, Busayev, and Lapointe. Here is Draper. Yell tries to tie him up. Danny Helenius, number 44, young defenseman, being tested by Lapointe. Helenius has dropped his stick. Goes back to get it. Now the pass out toward the line is intercepted, and Donovan steps it back the other way for Colorado. He's got Dingman with him. Lidstrom, though, plays Donovan well. Dingman, a backhand shot. Save made by Osgood, and he will hang on. Red Wings off to a great start. Just one loss in their first 8. Scoreless. 13-12 remaining here in the first.
In our family, men lose their hair early.
Tenure in the National Hockey League. Tough being a coach these days in professional hockey. There's 3 guys that are in their 5th season with their current team. Paul Maurice in Carolina, Ken Hitchcock in Dallas, Jacques Martin with Ottawa. Scotty Bowman will be here until he says it's time to leave. Breaks a breeze now for the Avalanche. Plays it off the boards back to the Detroit line. Laid ahead by Duchesne. Wrapped around behind Patrick Waugh. Doug Brown put the back to the net. Save
feeling out process, aren't they? There's been a couple of chances. The Red Wings got a couple of chances. Patrick Watt's been very active coming out and playing the puck. And at the other end, Osby's very good at playing the puck as well.
Lemieux knocked away that Duchesne pass. Duchesne backhands it out of Chelios. Chelios takes a hit from Lemieux as the puck ends up just wide of Patrick Waugh. Is this going to be an icing call? Yes, it is on the touch up by Aaron Miller. Let's go back to the studios. John Butchergrass. John?
Thanks, Dave. Michael Grosek made it 1-0. Buffalo 3:39 in, and then 19:55 into the first. Jeff Sanderson to Michael Pekka on the rebound there. Pekka's second, and Buffalo has a 2-0 lead after one. Still no wins for Hasek.
All right, John, thanks very much. More National Hockey Night action coming your way at 10:30 tonight. After this game here in Detroit, Jaromir Jagr and the Penguins will take on Paul Kariya, Teemu Selanne, and the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Join Jack Edwards and Brian Englund for all the action. Face-off control by the Avalanche. Oslund's big drive there, deflected by Yell, but that ends up well into the crowd and out of play.
Good face-off win there. Stefan Yell is excellent on the face-off, and knowing that Sandis Oslund will jump into the play, that really helps out Yell. Yell being a left-hand shot, going up against Yzerman. Yzerman's a right-hand shot, so Yzerman can comfortably play to the boards. That's where you want to play. You don't want to play to the middle of the ice, while Stefan Yell's also going in the same direction, so strength against strength. This is the area that Yell knows right here that he's got Oslund there, while Yzerman's going to try to get the puck in that area down there.
Well, Yzerman was just tossed out of there. Brendan Shanahan will now come in, but he's also a right-hander. Look at Shanahan, wins it cleanly back to the corner.
It's a good face-off win. That's part of the breakout right there. You don't win the face-off. You start scrambling like crazy in your own zone.
Aaron Miller winds up, drives it along the boards behind Osgood. John Podine is there. Big hit put on him. Crowd reacting to every collision in this matchup. Lead pass center ice for Shanahan, trying to break around Aaron Miller. Miller will chase it down. Shanahan right there, puts him up against the glass. Now Yzerman follows up. Dave Reed is there for the Avalanche. Centering pass runs all the way out to the line, and Yuri Fisher has to go back center ice. They get it again. Off the skate of Dave Reed. Here is Oslund. He'll carry the puck across the line. Checked by McCarty. And the puck back at center ice.
Good play by McCarty. Real good back-checking play.
Oslund again. Gets it into the zone. Here's a chance for Denmark. Save off. Good rebound. Score! And Denmark on a follow-up has given the Avalanche a 1-0 lead.
That's the speed there of Adam Denmark. The Red Wings are complaining that this was offside. I believe both Aaron Ward and Yzerman went over to the officials, but Adam Denmark took advantage of a broken down play. And Denmark being a right-hand shot, busting down the left side. Denmark is able to take control. Now, Sandis Oslund has the puck, and he's about to carry it in. Now, so far, that looked like it was onside in that particular play. Now, Denmark with the first shot, rebound right there, and he gets it on the sharp angle and is able to take advantage of that. Oslund sort of stumbled with the puck at first, but then he got it ahead to Adam Denmark from a standstill position. Denmark was able to, put it into first gear in a big hurry to break open all alone on that left side.
Second of the year for Denmark, who had his first goal in the last game in Atlanta. Well, Adam Denmark's beginning to get on track, and that's a good sign for the Avalanche again without Peter Forsberg until probably into December.
Adam Denmark put on this second line here. He's been playing some center, but now on this line, he's going to go back to his natural wing position, playing with Alex Tanguay and with Chris Drury, the Rookie of the Year at center ice. So Tanguay there wearing number 40, and Denmark taking the pass right here. So he takes it, goes onside, and there was a little bit of hold there on Aaron Ward, so Ward was out of position before Yuri Fisher could get back in a defensive position as well. And so good, strong play by Adam Denmark, and a good start. When you're the visiting club, I mean, you can settle things down in a hurry when you've got that 1-0 lead.
Especially as well as Patrick Waugh's been playing. Here comes Kozlov. Carries into the Avalanche zone. Cuts to the middle. Fires it wide. Larionov with it now. Sends it back in deep. Lapointe is there. Lapointe hands it off now. Kozlov goes back to Larionov. Larionov looks up to the line. Larry Murphy has it there. Drives a shot up high. That hit Larionov behind the net. Millennius looks to clear. Jeff Rogers has it now for the Avalanche. Igor Larionov and Kozlov knocking away, but it's recovered by Sammy Helenius, number 44 for the Avs. Will carry out of his own zone to center ice. Drives it behind Osgood. Could not stop it with the big blade of the stick. Chris Dingman gets a stick on it now. Here is Denmark. Puck is chipped away and recovered by Larionov. Red Wings looking to complete a line change here. Maybe an off lead pass for Draper, and he was offside by a couple of feet. Adam Deadmarsh with the first goal. Scotty Bowman's Red Wings trail on home ice, 1-0. First couple of games of the season with a hip pointer. Giving the Avalanche the early 1-0 lead. Just past the halfway mark of this first period. First meeting of the year between these two clubs. That have had 3 memorable playoff battles over the last 4 years. Quick shot there by Hiduk. A save made. Rebound. Tipped here on. Good big stop. On Skula, who stepped into that shot inside the top of the circle. That is a huge save for Osgood in Detroit. Doug Brown wraps it in along the boards. Second. And Holmstrom got tied up away from the puck. Ball out of the net again. Nice to move it away from Doug Brown, who gets a stick on it. Holmstrom now checked by Sakic. Holmstrom hands it off, better off, deflects it toward the net. Picked off, though, by Sakic. Backhands it to Skula. Right side, Claude Lemieux. Lemieux sends it to the far side of the Detroit zone. Hayduk gets a stick on it, but he's pinned to the glass. Now Chelios is checked by Sakic. Hayduk trying to dig it out of there. Chelios able to play it up the boards. Better off has that puck.
I think it's on the board. Yeah. I think it's on the dasher there between the glass and the boards. Let's get back to the goal that Adam Deadmarsh scored. And the Colorado Avalanche, they might have snuck away with something here, Dave. As we take a look at what the Red Wings were complaining about, we'll let it roll here for, okay, let's stay right here now. We got 1, we got 2 right here, we got 3, 4, 5, 6 there. And there's going to be another player that's going to sink on the right side right there. That would be 7 guys right there at one particular point. So the Red Wings being on that side of the ice, that's the reason for their players going right at the officials trying to get a look. But it's awfully congested over there. And when you're making quick changes like that, I can understand how difficult it is for the linesmen. And it shows you how sharp the players are and how alert they are and how aware they are of what jerseys are on the ice.
Red Wings control the face-off of their own zone as Yzerman drops it back for Lidstrom. Lidstrom carries ahead. Now a backhand flip. Yzerman will chase it down, being watched by Aaron Miller. Little bank pass now for McCarty cutting in. McCarty tried to circle the net. Good play by Yell. It comes to Yzerman behind the net again. Yzerman slides it toward the front of the net. Chopped at by Shanahan. Recovered by Ozolins. He gets it out to center ice. Sean Podine will play it off the boards back into the Detroit zone. 8:20 left here in the first period. Shanahan up the far side, tries to cut to the middle, back to the outside, gets the shot, and saved by Law. What a great move that was. Penalty coming against the Avalanche as Osgood going to the bench for the extra attacker. So the Red Wings have 6 skaters out now. Larionov sends it across. It is taken now by Dandenov. Red Wings will take it all the way back behind their empty net.
Good forecheck there by Colorado because they want to face off deep in Detroit zone. Detroit, in the meantime, Dave, they want to get the puck in the offensive zone, so at least that's where the face-off can be.
Kozlov, a guy that can beat several players himself, able to at least get it back into the Colorado zone before the whistle. Let's go back to the studios once again. John Butchergrass.
Pavel Bure made it 1-0 Panthers, and then watch Ray Whitney get every bit of this slap shot right on the sweet spot. And the Panthers are winning at home against the Islanders 2-0.
Well, I guess Ray Whitney did get every bit of that slap shot as we have an interference call here against Aaron Miller of the Avalanche.
Well, good thing Ray Whitney recovering from a groin injury. Aaron Miller, who has logged a lot of ice time on the blue line, wearing number 3 in front of the net in the dark jersey. There's the high stick, and it was called interference. He actually knocked the lid of the helmet of Darren McCarty right off. You're going to see him come into your screen right here, and the stick comes up high, and McCarty, again, we're seeing that helmet of his jump around on his head a little bit more than you would like to see. The Red Wings power play hasn't been very good. 0 for their last 11, while the penalty killing of Colorado has been excellent.
Red Wings power play got off to such a great start. They'll be looking to get it back in order here. Trailing 1-0. Chelios hands it off, gets it right back from Fedorov down to Lidstrom straight away. He'll drive a shot that hit Yzerman, and that allowed the Avalanche to get there and clear.
That stings. That stings. There's no protection in the backside of whether it be your pants or the back of your legs.
Lidstrom looks it ahead now for Fedorov. He'll drop it back. Yzerman at the hash mark, takes it to the corner. Attempted centering pass was blocked by DeVries. Deadmarsh able to clear. So
Look to Dave on the second power play unit. Chris Chelios has often gone up front and played in front of the net for Scotty Bowman's second power play unit. He remains on the backside right now, though.
Yell tried to play it around the boards. It was deflected out in front. Avalanche got there to clear it to the line. It is over the stick of Chelios. Bangs the stick on the ice in frustration. As Duchesne rips it back along the boards deep in the Avalanche zone. The breeze checked by Larionov. Now LaPointe gets there, chips it to Kozlov behind the Colorado net. Kozlov moves it now, Larionov. Left point Duchesne. Right side for Larry Murphy. Back to Duchesne. Murphy nearly had it knocked away. Good job to control it and keep it in the zone. Murphy takes it deep. Now he had it chopped away by DeVries. And it's cleared out of there by Yell.
Boy, am I impressed with Colorado's penalty killing. And the shorthanded guys that are up front in that situation, Milan Hayden and Stefan Yell, they're putting pressure on the key to your power play. The key certainly is the puck movement and the quarterback ability up front on the points, and that would be Lidstrom and Murphy. They have challenged them every time they've got the puck.
Well, the Avalanche came in having killed 25 of the last 27 against them. Here's a long shot that sails wide. Now Duchesne plays it back along the boards. Bodine gets there. Could not clear. It comes to Doug Brown between the circles. Chops at it. Out of the box comes Aaron Miller. And the Avalanche with a big penalty kill.
What a solid road game. This is a wonderful start for the Avalanche. They're playing on the road. They're taking the fans out of it. They're quieting everything down. They're playing a real patient hockey game. And considering the guys that are missing, Dave, strong on the blue line.
Here comes Drury cutting in. Backhand shot and a save made by Osgood. Well, the crowd has been taken out of it here in Hockey Town, downtown Detroit, where the Avalanche lead the Red Wings 1-0. The spirits of the folks over at Hockey Town Cafe enjoying the action.
See on that third level up there?
Yes.
Third level, it's called 5-hole, and it's got all the great pictures of all the goaltenders that have played here. I tell you, I get a little bit softer and weepy when I see shots of Terry Sawchuk up there. That's hockey. That's a great era here in Detroit history.
And of course, Patrick Waugh closing in on Terry Sawchuk's record for career wins by a goaltender. Sakic rolls it back. Hayduk, now Lemieux, being pursued by Murphy. Yzerman slaps it along the boards behind his own net. Lidstrom trying to get free. Two Avalanche players are there. Now Lidstrom got it back, knocked off of his stick. And the Wings recover Yzerman. Banks it out to center ice. Brendan Shanahan looking to go wide on Oslin. Dumps it to the front of the net. Slapped away by Aaron Miller. Good position by Miller in front of Darren McCarty. Here is Hayduk with it. Hayduk across the line. Sakic has it. Now the puck comes down to center ice. And McCarty with a big hit on Hayduk. There's a reaction from the crowd again. Murphy's pass deflects, picked up by Fedorov. Oh, the move he just made on Sakic. Fedorov looking to go wide against Oslin. Backhand shot races off the side of the net. Fedorov has it again. Puts on the break. Dumps it in front. And a tap there for Brown. But he was checked by Sakic. Comes down to Shanahan. Quick shot deflected over the glove. Fedorov again. Dumps it across. Knocked down by Shanahan. Centering attempt. Hit the back of the net. And the Avalanche finally tip it down the ice.
After Sergei Fedorov, when he dances like that, and he just absolutely makes things happen here. We get an icing call on the Colorado Avalanche, and not a bad move by the road team there. Sergei Fedorov just made a nifty little move right around center ice. He took it from his forehand to his backhand, cradled it, slid it between the legs of Joe Sakic, who was doing a little crossover defensive play.
Yep.
Whoop. And how many times have we seen Joe Sakic do that to other forwards around the league? There's that little move there through the legs. Now he's wide open. Wide on the backhand. Now this is a very low percentage shot. And for a goalie like Patrick Waugh, the odds of that going into the net are very slim. But that pass that he made as he spun around, turned, and saw his right winger, Brown, going to the front of the net, that was the play. Those are the difficult plays for the goaltender when you have to move from one post to the center of the net where the angle's so big.
Lean face-off win Detroit. Chelios shot deflected just wide. As both Brown and Holmstrom went to the front of the net. Fedorov tried to hand it off to Duchesne. Intercepted by Denmark. Ali Pettersson it up. Tanguay. Back and forth. Stopped by Osgood. Oh, what a save. Osgood just made on Adam Denmark on a perfect setup from the rookie Tanguay.
What a play by Tanguay. How he saw Denmark. Great vision.
Here's DeVries right back for the Avalanche. He's checked by Holmstrom. Puck is knocked away. Fedorov has it. Hands it off to Duchesne.
What a save by Osgood.
Now Patrick Waugh out to handle the puck. One hands it up the boards. All the way to center ice, Dave Reed. Free agent signing by the Avalanche after winning a Stanley Cup with the Stars. And he is double teamed and knocked to the ice. Pass intended for Podine. Does not get through it. Here's Kozlov trying to lead pass for Igor Larionov. That was blocked. And it's lifted right back into the Detroit zone. Actually over the glass and out of play. More NHL action coming your way here on ESPN2. Tomorrow we'll have these Avalanche in Philadelphia against the puzzling Flyers at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. We'll follow that up with the Penguins and the LA Kings. For more, log on to ESPN.com, a part of the Go Network, go.com.
Chris Osgood, go.com right there. What a play going from his one post where he is right now. Now he's staying square to the shooter, anticipating. Now he's got to move and shift and pivot and go over to his left and get whatever part of his body he can to this side of the net, because Deadmarsh was tied up a little bit by Holmstrom. That might have caused him to pull that shot a little bit. Yeah, might have caused him. So good back checking there by Holmstrom. What a play by Tanguay. I was looking through the notes there trying to find out if this kid shoots the puck. Tanguay's only had 5 shots on goal so far. Let's go to our studios now. More with John Butchergrass. John?
Hey, thanks, Panger. Back to South Florida. Mark Parrish, of course, 24 goals last year in his rookie year. This year, looking for number 3, and the Minnesota native hasn't. Panthers are having fun against Skiditz the Cat, babe. It's 3-0, and I mean that.
Thanks very much.
I know you mean that, John. I know you do. And that's good hands there by Parrish. But what a save by Osgood. Man.
Easier stop there for Patrick Waugh on a shot from Larry Murphy that was deflected. Down to 2:20 left in this first period. Larionov's pass for Kozlov. Collision there, center ice with Hayduk. Back the other way. Here is Sakic on the rush. Wheels, fires it in wide of the Detroit net. Osgood out to clear it to the corner. Hayduk gets to it. Now to Claude Lemieux behind the net. Lemieux carrying it back along the boards. Puts it in deep. Sakic is there. Sakic working against Larry Murphy. Lemieux tipped it back to the line, but it will roll out to center ice.
Stick play there by Nicholas Lidstrom. Good stick play.
Now Lemieux trying to get it to the red line. Checked by Larionov. Sakic picks it up. Joe Sakic, lead pass. Here comes Podine with a chance to the board. He scores! Sean Podine! Just under the crossbar, and the Red Wings trail 2-0.
Super skills there by Podine. Taking that from the backhand to the forehand, David going high under the bar on the glove side, opposite direction. It all starts with the defenseman Nicholas Lidstrom's trying to take away the blue line. Got caught a little bit standing still there. Dandino trying to back him up. Podine takes from the backhand, protects it. Underneath the bar, you're kidding me. What a super play that is. Great pass by Joe Sakic. Just split the seam perfectly. Oh, and a better play. Just a better play. And this is the ending part of it. Taking it to the backhand, protecting it with your left leg, making sure he holds off Dandino, and then with the goaltender dropping down, the glove dropping down, he just really delicately lifts it up over the glove and under the bar and ends. What a goal.
Red Wings came into this game leading the National Hockey League in goals against, averaging less than 2 a game. So the Avalanche have done that already here in the first period. Yell for the Avalanche, clears it center ice, Dave Reed. Tied up by Duchesne.
What's surprising, Dave, is the first period has been the best for the Red Wings. They were +7 in goals for and goals against. And they've come out real passive here in this first period.
That play is offside at the Colorado line. When you look at the top line, Darren, for the Avalanche, Lemieux, Sakic, and Hayduk have accounted for 13 of the 19 goals scored by the forwards dressed for tonight's game going into tonight's game. So what happens? Deadmarsh gets a goal, Podine gets a goal. You start to get some production from other people, and that's huge when you've got injured superstars out of the lineup.
Now the Red Wings' first period goals. He had first 8 games, 2 goals against, and now 2 goals against already in the opening 19 minutes of his hockey. Well, you're right. In this league, this day and age, you know, it's great to have that one brilliant superstar in this league, but as we all know, you need to have relief on that one play.
Lead pass for Shanahan. Shanahan waits, still waits. Deadmarsh goes down. Shanahan sends it across. Stop by Waugh. A redirection by McCarty as Avalanche gets the stick up on him.
And I think Darren McCarty's taken exception to the fact defensively, Sandis Ozolinsh, once Darren McCarty got that shot on net on the nifty little redirection, Ozolinsh kind of came up high with his stick. And Darren McCarty is talking to Ozolinsh right now about that. McCarty had part of his face kind of a funny story if you haven't heard it before. Not funny, but a story in which he had to have kind of plastic surgery there to fix that hole. And so right here, the stick came up on Ozolinsh at the very end. Shanahan just buying some time there and puts it in the air. That's a really nifty play there. It's almost like a bunt situation. So McCarty's wearing the visor because of the plastic surgery that he had right between his eyes on his nose. And there's been a couple of situations. Sergei Fedorov also took a slap shot from his teammate Chris Chelios in the last game, and he had several stitches around that right eye. And so he's wearing a visor as well.
Elliott's off a face-off win, and that shot just sails high and wide of Patrick Waugh. And back the other way, Reed has it. Fires it in wide of Osgood. Chelios able to clear the zone. Covered by Aaron Miller. Now DeVries plays it back the other way. Lidstrom will chase it down, and this will be an icing call. So a little over 18 seconds remaining. And a face-off deep in the Colorado zone once again.
Well, with the face-off down below, the one thing the Detroit Red Wings have in their favor is their face-off men are excellent. And so in situations like this, you can create a lot of offense. And when you look at them, Draper leads almost 63%. Fedorov's right there nearly 60%. That's excellent. Yzerman has always been in the top 5 in the league. Larionov's the weakest guy at 45.5%.
Right.
That's the best face-off team individually and overall in the entire National Hockey League. Now, Yzerman's a right-hand shot right now, so his strength right now is to pull it, turn the hand over, and pull it to the backside. He's also got 14 in the white there, so he can get himself in a position to get a one-timer.
Face-off is controlled by the wings, but it's chipped between Duchesne and Larry Murphy. Duchesne takes a hit from Deadmarsh. Patrick Waugh to the net. One hands it up the boards. A steal by Fedorov. Trying to go back toward the net, but it hit a leg. And center ice, Deadmarsh will wrist it in wide. And that's going to do it for this first 20 minutes. Adam Deadmarsh got things going with his second goal of the year, and then it was Sean Podine with his first of the year with about a minute and a half to go to make it 2-0 Colorado. Stay with us. ESPN News is coming up on the other side of this.
In this city.
Back to the Avalanche after 20 minutes of play. ABC College Football Saturday. This week a number of regional games. Aren't there fans young here in Hockey Town? The Red Wings trail 2-0 after 1. ESPN2's coverage of National Hockey Night is brought to you by Dodge, the official vehicles of the NHL. Dodge, different. 2-0 Avalanche over the Detroit Red Wings after 20 minutes of play here at the Joe Louis Arena. Dave Strader standing in a hole here with Darren Pang. And, we don't know what to expect when these two teams get together. One thing I don't think the Red Wings expected anytime, the way they've been playing defensively, is to fall behind 2-0 in one period of play.
Not when you consider how strong they've been in the first period, but that was not the case. The Colorado Avalanche took advantage of every opportunity. Here's a situation where Deadmarsh and the Avalanche might have taken advantage of too many men on the ice, and Deadmarsh ends up cashing in on that key 1-0 goal. Joe Sakic makes just a terrific pass right on the tape to Sean Podine. Let's call it 2-0 on a brilliant hoister there from Sean Podine. The goaltender as well. Saves like this, you've got some pretty good action right there. Osgood makes a great save, and then very late Shanahan plays it over to McCarty, and Patrick Waugh comes up big.
No, Deadmarsh, the game's first goal scorer, will start the second period. Watching is the Sakic line with Lemieux and Hayduk starting again for Bob Hartley's club, who has the 2-0 lead. Here's Fedorov, snaps it toward Waugh, deflected well up over the glass and out of play.
I would expect the Detroit Red Wings after that first period on home ice to be a little bit embarrassed by what happened. And as Pat Verbeek said in between periods in our studio, he talked a lot about Detroit maybe raising the tempo of play. And obviously Scotty Bowman's clubs are puck possession clubs. They're clubs with a lot of skill. They're clubs that take care of all three zones. But one thing you didn't sense in that period was kind of urgency. And so I would expect the Red Wings to really come out. And I know that Patrick Waugh, for as long as he's been around, he would expect the same thing. So I'm sure he's geared and ready for the second period.
Avalanche win the draw and clear it down the ice. Osgood out of the net to play it to Larry Murphy. Back down for Lidstrom, but he overshot him a little bit there. Allowed Lemieux to get a stick on it. Now Lidstrom will have to try to chase it down. Sakic gets over there for the Avalanche to get a stick on it. Here comes Lemieux. Getting there ahead of Larry Murphy. Trying to go back to the point. Chopped at by Draper, sent back along the boards. Lidstrom plays it right wing side. LaPointe tries to chip it past Ozolinch and does. Dave Green hustling back to play it off the board. Harry Murphy has it there and brought it back in offside. Well, there have been injuries, and the fact that they've had to start with a lot of their games on the road, and Captain Joe Sakic talked about how the Avs have hung in there.
This battle, we've played hard. We've had a couple bad games, but more often than not, we've been pretty consistent. We've been getting great goaltending from Patty, and you know, in the end, that's the bottom line. Is if you can get great goaltending, you know that you can afford a few mistakes, and we've had a few of those in the defensive zone, but we're keeping the goals against down, and you know, that's what we have to do, at least until Peter gets back. We know we won't be scoring as much as we did last year, so playing in the defensive zone is really an important key for us this year.
All those things he talked about, the key to that stat you just saw, second best road record of the National Hockey League over the last 5 seasons.
Well, when you get goaltending, Patrick gives you a chance to win every single game. It's very rare that he gives up any bad ones.
Here's Kozlov on a turnover. Throws it out in front, off the stick of Dave Reed. Yuri Fisher moved in from the point. Now Skula for the Avalanche played it up the board, but it's Kozlov with it again. Wheels backhands it, and it's deflected by Dave Reed. DeVries able to clear. Here come the Avalanche on the attack. Dave Reed across the line, drops it back. A chance here, Podine, save made out. Good rebound. On the play by Larionov. Igor Larionov with an excellent back check. Kozlov tried to get it to Dandino, and there's going to be a penalty here. He was being held up. Delayed call coming against Colorado. It comes a chance here for Aaron Ward was blocked. Ward sets it up now for Yzerman. Back to Ward. 6 skaters on for the Red Wings. Kozlov goes back to Yzerman. Takes the shot. Kozlov again. Hands it off now. Duchesne fakes the shot. Gives it to Dandino. Good puck control here by Detroit. It comes back to Duchesne. Shot to the net. It's high and wide. Avalanche still haven't touched it. Here is Yzerman setting it up. It comes to Duchesne. Blocked, and the Avalanche finally do get it.
Well, there's the key to your goaltender coming out of the ice for the extra attacker on a delayed penalty. It was Yzerman that came on the ice when Osgood went from his own net to the bench area, and Yzerman really controlled and set up the tempo of that what was a short-lived power play situation before the Colorado Avalanche had control. Now, the reason why that there was even a call was the back checking of Igor Larionov, who is one of the most intelligent players in the league. And Igor Larionov's going to be on the left side of your screen. This puck's going to come right in the slot area, stop it right there, and he just lifts the stick right there, and it nullifies a great scoring chance. Now the puck goes back now for the Detroit Red Wings in the offensive zone. It's transition now. Now they start heading up the ice right here, and right after that there was going to be the minor penalty call on the Avalanche. So now on the left side there's a little bit of hook there by Sean Podine, so he kind of gives up on the play. So Podine kind of quits on it. Now Osgood's out of the net, and because of that good back checking play by Larionov, the Red Wings will have a power play.
Their second power play of the night, obviously 0 for 1. Trailing 2-0. Avalanche able to clear again as you take a look at the work of the Red Wings on that first power play. 1 minute and 11 seconds of the 2 minutes in the attack zone. Here's Fedorov. Has been going well all night. Dumps it out in front. A chance and a save by Waugh. He stopped Yzerman, who tried to go on the short side after the setup by Fedorov. And Sakic will send it down the ice. Here's Fedorov with it. Takes one way, goes the other. Carries into the Colorado zone, then had it roll off his stick. Fedorov pass again. Rolled off his stick, but now the Red Wings recover. Here's Holmstrom with it. Holmstrom across the line. Looking to cut in on DeVries, puts on the break, sends it back right point, Lidstrom. One-timer Chelios, wide of the net. Back to the line, Lidstrom winds up. He drives a high shot.
Oh, that hit Holmstrom in front.
Yzerman with it at the hash marks. Chelios to Lidstrom, the one-timer. Deflected just wide by Holmstrom. It comes to Larionov. Larionov tried to send it back to Chelios. It deflected to Lidstrom. Larionov with it again. Holmstrom to Yzerman. Quick shot, he fired it wide. Chelios to Lidstrom again. Lidstrom shot deflected in front, and Holmstrom hit by Waugh and then by DeVries, and I think the second swipe by DeVries.
Give the puck up and we'll have a 2-man advantage, and that's exactly what Chris Osgood just did. Very smart play by Osgood, as Lance Roberts, one of the 2 officials for this game, along with Bill McCreary, to call with the two referees there, and Osgood quickly played the puck up the ice because now they'll have 32 seconds with a two-man advantage. So key play. I mean, if Osgood keeps the puck and they kill time during the neutral zone, they're going to kill off the first power play. In front of the net now, smart shot. Now Holmstrom takes just a little bit of a whack right there. See, he fell in front of the net. That was the one, right?
Yep. The hack on the back with the stick after he knocked him down, I think, is what finally drew the attention.
It's DeVries that gets the slashing call. Meanwhile, Steve Yzerman had a chance just before that as they try to set up shop right in front of goaltender Patrick Waugh.
May have been able to read the lips of Bob Hartley. We'll get to that in a second.
And from behind the net, Yzerman was right here on the doorstep, and he has a real good chance on the short side, and Patrick Waugh made the save. Yzerman scored his 500th goal right here on Joe Louis Arena ice against Patrick Waugh in the Avalanche, and he's about to join an exclusive club. And I'm sure he's anxious to get rid of some of these numbers right here. Few players have scored 600 goals and had 900 helpers in the NHL, and Yzerman's about to achieve that wonderful milestone.
Hartley was indicating 3, as in 3 power plays for Detroit and none for the Avalanche. Kozlov cruising in, hands it off Lidstrom, straight away Murphy, back to Lidstrom. 20 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Larionov waiting with it patiently, still has it, sets it in front, score!
And there's still power play, still 9:42 because that came before Sean Podine's first minor penalty had expired. Smart play by Igor Larionov.
There are not many centers in the game that have ever been able to make this play with this kind of patience. Watch Larionov once he gets it.
Larionov has the puck, and he's looking towards the defenseman. He waits, he waits, he waits. He's buying time. This is about a 6-foot area here, maybe a little bit longer than that. So Kozlov just knows he's got to keep his stick on the ice. Kozlov's in front of the net, stick on the ice. Easy little play, difficult play for a goaltender. Very, very difficult. In fact, the only way the goaltender is going to stop that is if he guesses early. And you don't want to guess. You don't want to leave your post. Super play by Larionov.
And did you see the time remaining now on the DeVries penalty? And so the Red Wings with a power play goal have a chance to tie it with a 5-on-4 skating advantage. Larry Murphy winds up, drives a shot, Patrick Waugh to save. It bounces all the way out to Lidstrom. Lidstrom, top of the circle, sends it cross ice. Larionov quickly back to Murphy. Murphy drives a shot, save made by Waugh, and that may have rang off the goalpost to his right. As the referee McCreary indicated, no goal with the hands out straight. Here is Shanahan. Larionov trying to go back to Shanahan. Shanahan taken down by Podine. It'll be tough for the Red Wings to get yet another call and another 5-on-3, but Shanahan a little bit slow to get up. Sean Podine. Play by Larionov, turn over here. Shanahan with a 10-save rebound. Loose to the crease. Very upset at the no call, so upset that he stayed behind the play, and that turned out to be a benefit for him with the turnover at the blue line.
Well, he goes over to number 8 right now and gives him a big tap on the pads. This play looks like it's dead on this one side. And what Shanahan's going to stay down on the ice. Going to stay there, get up real slow. Larionov comes in, number 8 on the right side of your screen, and keeps the play alive. Plays it back in the offensive zone. Now Shanahan's probably out of gas, uses his foot over to his stick, gets him by a defender, and puts it past the goaltender. Shanahan now reads the fact that Larionov has come back and worked so hard. One shot, 2 whacks at it, uses the foot. Oh, that's excellent. Oh, boy. What a play offensively at the very end of the shift for Shanahan, who I'm sure didn't have much left in the tank right there. What a shift by Larionov.
So back-to-back power play goals by Detroit. They tied the game at 2, and that has got the crowd back into it. As that puck hit somebody up on the Colorado bench. Well, they whistle it down. Shanahan now with goals in 3 straight games. Scored a beautiful goal here on ESPN2 against Steve Shields and the Sharks, and then the only goal in the game at Chicago.
He's looking over towards Larry Murphy, first of all, trying to get the goaltender and the defenseman to lean that way. Then he shot it. Then he wisely went in front of it. Instead of veering off to his left, he went right in front of the net. He used those big feet, and he pushes it back onto his blade, and so the goaltender is looking at the puck where it is. Now Shanahan, with that presence of mind and that calmness, he pushes it to his stick now, so the goaltender is still stuck at where the puck was. Now it's another 2 or 3 yards because the length of your stick,
right?
So you can't get over there and stretch long enough to your left, even though Patrick Roy is 6 feet. So super offensive instincts there by Shanahan.
Let's see how the Avalanche respond now. As the puck cleared by McCarty, DeVries back to get it. Being pursued by Shanahan. Now Skula tried to get it to the red line. He's checked by McCarty.
Three Red Wings already went over that side. They put him in a bad position. He had nowhere to go.
McCarty for Eiserman, leads it for Chelios. Chelios quick shot blocked, and now check Chelios! Crossbar in the post! McCarty along the boards, and it chipped away. And Duchesne hands it off now. Shanahan does not connect with McCarty. Looked like it hit the crossbar and the goal post. John Donovan tried to set it up there for Sakic. Here's Sakic with a steal. Sakic trying to get it out in front. Now Oakland kind of poked off the hit stick. Out to the line, held in. Aaron Miller sets a bucket and off good. Right hand save.
The fans here are still wondering if that went in the net, Dave. As you called it, I believe that went right off the post, the crossbar, and out.
I'm sure they've already looked at it upstairs. Here's a chance now for Holmstrom. Holmstrom going wide. Takes it behind Patrick Roy. Still hangs onto it. Carries it all the way out. Now hands it off. Redirected by Brown. In front, a chance for Brown. Was knocked away. Back to the line. Aaron Ward just dumps it along the boards. Penalty coming here against Sidney. He took Holmstrom down.
Twice in the last 10 minutes that Holmstrom has drawn a penalty in front of the net. Well, while the Detroit Red Wings started out slowly, they had an advantage with a 2-man advantage on the power play. This second one by Shanahan ties the game up. Chelios takes a drop pass from Yzerman. The first one blocked. The second one goes off the glove of Patrick Roy, off the crossbar, right around the joint between the crossbar and the post, comes down off the post, and then drops down immediately after that. Chris Dingman then took a penalty right in front of that. Holmstrom, I think Holmstrom was fairly lucky, though.
Yeah.
Holmstrom really, I mean, he really embellished that play. And the referees are intelligent, and he's not going to get away with any more than that. And I didn't think it was that serious of a nudge from Dingman as much it was a fabrication from Thomas Holmstrom.
It is the fourth power play for the Red Wings, who have not drawn a penalty yet. Wow, along the board. Shanahan was waiting there. Sends it back for Kozlov. 2-2 our score. Red Wings have tied it. With back-to-back power play goals in the second period, Larionov winds up Wade, sends it deep for Kozlov. Looking for Shanahan, goes instead to Larionov, out to the line. Murphy fakes the shot. Back to Larionov. Larionov drives a shot that was blocked by DeVries, and he hammers it down the ice.
Well, the one thing Colorado would love to see is Larionov actually shoot the puck from the perimeter, Dave, because that's not his strength. His strength is faking the shots, freezing people, and then dishing it off to the open man. He had no options whatsoever to go to there.
Larionov takes it into the face-off circle. Backhands and a chance here. Yzerman fumbled the puck a bit. Gets it back from Larionov out to Lidstrom. Lidstrom drives a shot that was blocked by Reed. Comes back to Yzerman again. Sends it deep. Gets it back. Yzerman out front now for Lidstrom. Back to Yzerman. Tried to send it across. That was anticipated. Intercepted by Reed, and he'll fire it all the way down the ice.
Yzerman can't seem to get that puck settled down. It's kind of rolling on him. And then when it gets that way, you don't quite have the patience to make a play.
Fedorov hands it off to Yzerman. Gains the Colorado zone. Yzerman, little burst of speed. Now puts on the brake. Sends it back to the line. Duchesne to Chelios. Chelios sends it in deep. Fedorov couldn't handle it cleanly. Checked by DeVries. LaPointe moves it along for Yzerman and gets it back. Here was Fedorov with it. Out now to Chelios. Chelios to the net. That was deflected in front of LaPointe. Oh, drilled to the ice by Eric Messier, and the puck clears. And that's sure the Detroit zone.
I'm not sure it wasn't DeVries, too. Yeah. Came across and really helped out where Messier was.
Lead pass down here is Draper trying to get through with 6 feet. He's taken down. Avalanche trying to clear. Chelios Now Dingman, who just came out of the penalty box. Took a shot from Chelios. The two of them exchange sticks. Back to the line. Here's Brown, and a good shot block there by Chris Dingman. After he battled with Chris Chelios. Osgood to Chelios. The Holmstrom hit pass intended for Draper, cutting through the middle. And that didn't connect. The Avalanche clear the zone. Bouncing puck. Stepping up to it now is Ozolin with speed to the outside. Ozolin using that reach. Spins away from Chelios, centering pass, but Doug Brown is there defensively. Hands it off again for Holmstrom, and he'll dump it into the Avalanche zone.
Now Colorado has to get back at playing 5-on-5 hockey. Put some pressure on the Detroit Red Wings defense because obviously momentum is switching this game.
Miscue here by the Avalanche defense. Centering pass by Yzerman to McCarty was knocked away. Hellenius tries to clear. Lidstrom holds it in. Now Hayden says that's enough. Sends it down the ice. Icing the call on the touch-up. Red Wings needed to come out with more intensity. They've done that with the help of their power play. They have tied the Avalanche at 2.
Australia's Great Barrier Reef stretches.
Yanov will turn 39 on December the 3rd of this year. The only shame is that we didn't see him in the National Hockey League when he was about 24, 25 years old. Of course, when he was in his prime, it was nearly impossible for Russian players to come over and play in the National Hockey League. You see the Red Wings out shooting Colorado 7-1.
Now that Wayne Gretzky's retired, I think he's the smartest player in common sense situations on the ice that there is in the National Hockey League.
Denmark tried to get through Lidstrom, and eventually he does. Denmark has it at the hash mark corner, trying to send it back to DeVries, who just fanned down. Patrick Waugh comes out, fired the puck right into the bench.
And it won't be a minor penalty because it went in the bench area.
Let's go back to John Butchergrass. John?
Thank you very much, Dave. Let's go to Toronto and check out the Trash. Taking on the Maple Leafs, and Mike Johnson will give Toronto a 1-0 lead off the turnover. It's a slow developing play, but it does happen. 1-0 Toronto.
All right, John, thanks very much. How about those Maple Leafs without Matt Sundin? The Dodge Intermission Report coming up. More on the struggling Sabres. Update on the World Series. And Pat Verbeek visiting in the studio. Nice to see Pat Verbeek helping us out, but love to see him competing back on the ice.
Congratulations, Beaker, on that Stanley Cup. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's for sure. I think you appreciate it more the older you get, too.
Fisher fails to clear. This is held in DeVries. A shot just wide of Osgood.
I'm going to rephrase that. The longer you've been around the league.
That's right.
Sorry, Beaker.
Lead pass here now. Butsaya. He's checked on the play. LaPointe comes up with it. Back to the line. Ward sends it back. Yuri Fisher's shot was blocked by Reed. Reed plays it high up on the glass in his own zone around the boards. Here comes Ward with a big hit. Then not Sean Covey to the ice.
What a hit by Ward. Catching Podine standing still. That's the key to that hit. See, Ward had all the momentum. He was skating forward while Podine was in a standstill position.
Right here, Matt. Right here, bud.
Avalanche trying to put some pressure on the Detroit zone. Good move there by Sakic. It's just tipped away. Eric Messier's shot. That was seen by Osgood. Now behind the net, Fedorov plays it off the glass. Gets it by Hellenius, and this is going to be an icing call against the Red Wings on the touch-up by Eric Messier. Friday night on ESPN, it's National Hockey Night, a Central Division clash. It'll be right here with the Joe Louis Arena. The Detroit Red Wings, Steve Yzerman and company playing host to the Chicago Blackhawks. 7 Eastern is the start. This will be a full national game. Will be seen both in Chicago and Detroit as well as the rest of the country.
So the home folks in Chicago can watch that game on ESPN. Sean Podine here takes the puck on the boards, is looking down, and whoop, by the time he looks up and corrals that puck, he just got rocked. And Aaron Ward did not play in the Red Wings last game. He had back spasms in Chicago, and that forced Danino back on the blue line.
Shot deflected, and Osgood sharp there to make the save. Alex Tanguay fakes the pass one way, then hangs on to it. This kid's got some good sense with the puck. Won the set up Denmark for that great opportunity in the first period. Right here, Chelios tries to clear the zone. It is taken now by Kozlov. Flips it back. Igor Larionov hands it off. Danino waits. Gets the shot away. Waugh able to cover it up. Chris Drury looking to clear. Wings get a stick on it. Well, the Avalanche on a second effort able to clear the zone. Danino plays it ahead for Kozlov. Kozlov waits. Sends it in front looking for Duchesne, who had moved in for the blue line. Puck got tied up on the skates of the referee, McCurry. Wings dig it out of there. Kozlov, he was hit hard by Hellenius. Kozlov comes back at him. Now the Avalanche trying to move it along the boards. Duchesne able to get a stick on it. Here's Kozlov. Hands it off now. Igor Larionov sets it up. A tip for Dandino. Saved by Waugh. Dandino tried to go high on the stick side with Waugh moving. And this will be an icing call against the Avalanche.
Good cycling down low by the Red Wings. Wonderful cycling. And because of that, they had a great scoring chance. Matthew Dandino, well-deserved rest there by this line. 5-on-5. The line of Igor Larionov with Kozlov and with Dandino cycling it down low. Cycling and cycling and cycling. Kozlov, a little cross-check there from behind the net. But they're going to work the puck down low. One defenseman, Duchesne, ends up picking it there. There's Duchesne right here. He pinches in. Now Dandino's covering up for him. He's wearing 11 white. Dandino now is going to move to the right side. Takes a backhand pass. Just classic cycling there. And classic communication. Patrick Waugh makes a good save with the right shoulder. Matthew Dandino, extremely intelligent because of the fact that he's played a lot of defense for the Detroit Red Wings. As soon as Duchesne pinches in, he backs him up. And because he backs him up, he gets an offensive chance.
Red Wings came into action tonight, averaging 33 shots a game, giving up only about 23 a game. Load Lemieux laying it off the high glass. Avalanche, on the other hand, outshot by an average of 8 per game. So they have needed Patrick Waugh to be strong. Colorado came out and got the first 2 goals of this game in the first period. Red Wings back-to-back power play goals and tied it. Aaron Miller for the Avalanche. That one off the skate of McCarty. Eisenman waiting for that puck, gives it back to Shanahan, trying to stuff it in on the short side. Patrick Waugh just held the goalpost there. Miller slides it ahead. Here's Sakic now on the rush for the Avalanche. Sakic waits top of the circle, tried to feed it through. Lemieux was knocked away. That comes Eisenman. Kicks it ahead to his stick. Eisenman thinks. Oh, and he had Patrick Waugh moving out on the angle and then lost control of it.
Oh, he must have looked up, saw that Patrick Waugh was way out, tried to fake to a stutter step, looked the other way.
Other way, Sakic, he's outside. Knocked there by Oscar. It comes down to Hayduk, and that's knocked away. Holmstrom now. Waits, does not give it to Fedorov. Leaves it there. Here comes Doug Brown. He drives the shot that's blocked up into the upper deck here at Joe Louis Arena, and not a play.
Oh, good play by Chris Osgood. One-on-one. Joe Sakic trying to hoist that puck over the glove. After Eisenman had a chance the other way, Osgood comes up big.
What is it?
I don't know what that is.
Alongside Dave Strader, Darren Pang, as we mentioned in the open, it was going to be a goaltending battle. Patrick Waugh and Chris Osgood coming up with some stellar saves, although the last play on Patrick Waugh was actually a missed opportunity by Steve Yzerman, but Osgood, who has been terrific on breakaways this year, nullifies a real quick scoring chance by Joe Sakic. The one thing about Chris Osgood, when we talked about patience in the beginning and some of the keys, that means not overreacting, not overplaying a situation that you anticipate. He waits, he's in his crouch, his reflexes are so good, he kind of sucked Sakic into the high glove and took it away.
ESPN2's National Hockey Night live at the Joe Louis Arena, where the Avalanche and the Red Wings are tied at 2. Holmstrom, who has played an animated game, feeds it off to Doug Brown. Now to Fedorov, a chance here, blocked in front to Breeze, who's had a couple of good shot blocks here in the second period. Now Holmstrom battling against DeVries. Holmstrom moves the puck along now to Doug Brown. Sends it out in front. Holmstrom, one hand on the stick. Gets the shot and score! What an effort by Holmstrom.
Three straight goals by the Detroit Red Wings in the second period, and they now take the lead 3-2. Hard work by 96 in the white jersey, Thomas Holmstrom. Battling Greg DeVries, wins the battle, plays it behind, goes in front of the net, stays on his feet, and then shoots the puck. I think it went off the stick of Stefan Yell. 26 in the red went down, maybe it did not, but it snuck over the glove of Patrick Waugh, who looked a little startled on the play, and Thomas Holmstrom never quit, and that's the key there. Battles in the corner, goes in front of the net, gets the puck. That's old-time hockey right there.
Red Wings have their first lead of the hockey game as Eric Messier Well, the Avalanche plays it right wing side. John Donovan having trouble settling that puck down. Now it's knocked away by the wing to center ice. Larionov has it there. Goes cross ice with it for Danjano. Kept it outside by dragging that puck ahead. Rolls it to the corner. Kozlov working against Donovan. Sends it out in front. Sakic there. He moves it across now for Digman. Poked off a his stick by Chelios. Sakic now gives it back to Digman, left wing side, trying to cut in on Chelios. Digman rolls it right through the goal mouth. Now it's poked away by Kozlov. That forces the Avalanche defense to back up to 3-on-2 Detroit. Larionov just pulled it back at the blue line, and that threw Danjano offside on the play.
The reason the Red Wings are up 3-2 is because of that glove save that Chris Osgood made on Joe Sakic. No surprise on breakaways. Osgood so far this year has been strong. In a recent game against Atlanta, the first game ever in Atlanta, he had Buckberger on the breakaway. He had Nelson Emerson on a breakaway, and he makes a great save. Against Wendell Clark just the other night, another breakaway type scenario. And then tonight, after Milan Hajduk made a perfect pass on the skate blade of Joe Sakic, Sakic goes in, and again, one-on-one. Chris Osgood with plenty of confidence makes an outstanding save, and the key to that is they went and scored. Thomas Holmes from goal came not 2 minutes following that save. That gets the fans going, it gets the team alive, the eyes on the bench get wide open, they go over pat your goalie on the pad. That completely changed up momentum on that one sequence.
Chris Osgood will turn 27 years of age next month, and one of the few that you can look at in the league that might be able to challenge the career win numbers of the likes of Kerry Sawchuk and Patrick Roy. Of course, it always helps to play on a strong team, which is something that Osgood has benefited from in the first 6+ years of his career. 4 minutes straight up left here in the second period. Murphy for Detroit. That pass deflects now, and Ozolinsh has it. Sends it ahead for Drury. Chris Drury tied up by Murphy. Now Draper took a big hit there from Denmarsh. Lead pass for LaPointe just out of his reach. And the Avalanche play it right back into the Detroit zone.
Defensively, you have to be very patient going up against this unit of Detroit when you've got Larionov and Larry Murphy and Lindstrom handling the puck out there.
Draper tries the shot, just missed it high and wide on Patrick Roy. Big carom off the boards. It comes all the way center ice. Here's Sakic with some speed to the outside. Drops it back. Hajduk. He goes back down to Ozolinsh, moving in. Put it right out in front. And it bounces back to center ice. Now a bubble of the puck by DeVries. Yzerman coming in. Not sure why had to make a save on that or not. Did he?
I think he got his right elbow on that. Yzerman trying to wait him out and go to the short side, which would be the stick side.
Now Hajduk center ice. Had to make a fancy little pass there. Nearly paid for it with a clean turnover. Jammed up along the boards. Now Hajduk with it. Taken to the glass by McCartney. Puck is tied up. Sakic whips it out of there to close the view. Tied up by Duchesne. Now Ozolinsh with it. Ozolinsh hands it to Hajduk. Hajduk back to Lemieux. Lemieux can't find the puck in his skates. He sensed that he was moving into a scoring chance, but just couldn't find the puck. Here's Yzerman again. Takes the long-range shot. Pulls up. Waits now, plays it off the boards for Shanahan coming in deep. Aaron Wardle holding in. Slaps it back for Shanahan. He couldn't get to it. He was going to the front of the net. Now Lemieux with it. Lemieux will skate it out to center ice. Hands it off for Hajduk. Hajduk tries to go back to Lemieux. One hands it in on Osgood, who's forced to make a save as Stefan Yell went driving to the net. That gives us a chance to go back once again to John Butchergrass. John?
Thanks, Dave. Time to take out the trash again. The Thrashers in Toronto, 1-0 Maple Leafs. And once again, Mike Johnston causing problems. Dmitry Kristich right there on the offensive rebound. That's why they got him. Maple Leafs lead 2-0.
All right, thanks very much, John. Stay with us here on ESPN2 immediately following the Pittsburgh-Anaheim game. NHL Tonight, John Butchergrass will be joined by special guest Pat Verbeek. What's wrong with the Sabres? The puck stops here as we take a look at the best saves of the week and the postgame from here in Detroit. Speaking of saves.
Well, second time in this period, Yzerman's been one-on-one after DeVries mishandled the puck and went right off the knob of the stick. Yep. How do you like that? Yzerman has had great success going high to the stick side, getting Patrick Roy to drop that stick low and then going high underneath the bar. In fact, it might have been a turning point to last year's playoff series when Colorado was going back to win 4 straight. He put it off the crossbar on a very similar play.
That's right. Detroit led 1-0 in that game 3. It could have gone up 2-0. Here's Doug Brown getting to it. Tips it across and Holmstrom taken down on a diving poke check by the youngster Skula. And now the Avalanche lifted all the way back down the ice. And this will be an icing call.
Many people go back to that sequence there, as you mentioned. I mean, it seemed like the Detroit Red Wings were coasting last year. They'd eliminated Anaheim. They're coming in. They were playing solid first 2 games. And then with that 1-0 lead, Yzerman rang one right off the post. And for some reason, and inexplicably, that's what the great thing about sports and momentum. The Colorado Avalanche, behind rookie head coach Bob Hartley, and of course the leaders on that hockey club, they stormed back to win 4 straight games. And in fact, in playoff competition, Bob Hartley's goaltender, Patrick Waugh, against the Red Wings is 4-0 in the last 4, obviously, by winning those and winning a couple of them right here at Joe Louis Arena.
Here is Fedorov now behind Patrick Waugh. Wanted to get it out in front. Played along the boards. Back to Duchesne. His shot stopped. Rebound. Doug Brown was cruising in. It went off his skate. Brown sets it up. A chance here. Fedorov save made. Holmstrom knocked down in front again. It comes back to the line. Chelios. Missed the puck. And back comes Tanguay. That was poked away. And it's going to be offside unless the Red Wings touch it, which they do. And did they clear it? No.
You look around the stats. I know it's early on in the season here, but goal differential, the goals for, goals against. We do a lot of numbers and crunching and stuff, and my math isn't that good, so I do a lot of plus and minus. It makes it a lot easier, but the best goal differential in the league, you see the Detroit Red Wings with a +15, goals for, goals against. Toronto now with Kristich playing on that line with Johnson, they're really sparking it up offensively. Look at the St. Louis Blues without Chopper. Al McGinnis out of the lineup. They continue to impress. Ottawa's just a flat-out fast hockey team. Just a real good hockey club, and they're a +10.
Of course, they've made the move to go out and get Joey Juneau.
Yep.
Daniel Alfredsson's going to be out with that torn MCL, and of course, doesn't look like any resolution in the Ashen situation anytime soon.
Those are legitimate players in our league that we need to have on the ice and not having contracts squabbled.
Here's Lemieux. Sends it across far side for the Breeze. Now a centering attempt bounced right in front of Osgood. The point gets there for Detroit. Ill-advised cross-ice pass here. Second trying to get loose. The save made by Osgood. And a penalty finally against Detroit. Colorado's going to get a power play.
Oh, this is huge for the Colorado Avalanche, now trailing by 1. And Joe Sakic creates that with his quick feet. He's so explosive with his feet, and he was able to get that shot on goal, even though the puck was fumbling around. And remember, it's late in the period, so that puck's not going to lie flat for you. So Joe Sakic has to use his feet, handling it. Then he pushes it up to the blade of his stick, and he lets one go right there, getting rid of a hook. There's the penalty, and it's a good call right there. And the good save by Osgood with his left foot. Kozlov now kind of gets caught looking at where the puck is, and now before he knows it, Sakic gets beyond him, and Sakic fights through that and still gets a quality shot on goal. Kozlov goes off for hooking. First power play of the game for the Avalanche, who began the season with a hot power play. They started in the first 5 going up nearly 30%, but their last 5 only 7.7% with the man advantage.
Just 1 goal in their last 5 and 13 opportunities, facing a Detroit team that has the best penalty killing in the National Hockey League. Killed off all 3 in Chicago. That 1-0 win Saturday night. Face-off here controlled by Yzerman. Lindstrom able to clear, but that is such an important part of penalty killing.
It sure is. I mean, for the offensive team, then you really kick yourself because you've got to battle. You're outmanning the opposition. You've got to really fight hard. The wingers do. The defensemen do to support the face-off.
Lindstrom tying his man up along the far board. Puck comes free. Yzerman checked there by Denmark. Back to the line. Oselin had it slapped away.
Smart play by Chris Chelios to force him to. There's nowhere for Sandis Oselin to go, and Chelios got such great lateral movement.
Drury with it, sends it ahead. Off the stick of Denmark. Lindstrom tries to clear. Oselin will get there, and that's it for the second period. It was all Colorado in the first. They had a 2-0 lead. But Thomas Holmstrom capping off 3 unanswered goals by the Detroit Red Wings has given the home team a 3-2 lead, and it was a lot of hard work for Holmstrom. This is where he pays his dues and he makes it pay off. ESPN News is next.
6'2" Young.
6'2" Young is here, baby.
In one period of play, they lead at 3-2. Dave Strader back along with Darren Pang, and Pat Verbeek didn't look like a genius. He is a genius.
Yeah,
I mean, he's played a lot of hockey, and you said the same thing. The Red Wings had to pick up the pace, and they did it with the help of some odd man situations.
Well, they really did. They got a break, too. Obviously, when you've got a power play and you've got so much skill on your power play, you can regain a home ice advantage, a little bit of momentum here. Igor Larionov makes the play. He is the catalyst, the man with the patience, the man that sees the ice. That got them right back into the game. Now, a poor penalty on Colorado Colorado's behalf leads to a 5-on-3 power play goal. That was the first one, then the second one by Shanahan. Key play so far, when it was a 2-2 game, Osgood makes that save on Joe Sakic. Just shortly after that, Holmstrom makes it a 3-2 hockey game. That's where we stand now at the faceoff.
Holmstrom was a great example of a guy that picked up his pace. I mean, you don't think about him with his skating, but he worked very hard. One of those guys that seems to get to the spot he needs to get to. Now, the Avalanche start this third period with a very important power play, Darren.
You got that right. This is a chance. The ice is fresh. They flooded the ice between periods. Obviously, they've got a minute left on the power play. The Colorado Avalanche have to get the puck in the offensive zone, settle things down, and try what they can to get Sandis Ozolinsh into the offense. Dave, he doesn't have a shot yet in this hockey game, and that is very rare. But that might tell you something about his health. And I told you before that he's struggling a little bit from the flu. He may not just have the zip in his legs to get up and play.
That pass from Ozolinsh skipped off of Chris Drury. That's going to allow Chelios to get there. Chelios outlet. Fedorov has it. Looks to break. No, he'll just send it all the way down the ice. And the Red Wings will get some fresh penalty-killing legs out there.
And the Avalanche will change as well. Claude Lemieux comes back on the ice.
Now Drury holds up, hands it off now for Tanguay. Back to Drury, last year's Rookie of the Year. Sakic mishandled the puck. Here's Brown with a 2-on-1 with Fedorov. Brown takes a look, waits. Good job by Sakic. And he forced the play wide on Doug Brown. Joe Sakic, a forward, having to play as a defenseman on a 2-on-1. But he did his job.
I mean, it's not easy being a player like that and fumbling the puck. Because first, it's an embarrassing thing, but then you've got to come back and break up a 2-on-1 break. With Brown and Fedorov have great chemistry with one another. And Joe Sakic, credit Joe for having the patience and the quick foot speed to make that decision.
Kozlov tried to get it through to Dandino. That was knocked away. And the Avalanche back the other way. Dave Reed immediately had it taken off of his stick by Kozlov. Larionov with it now. Set up 2 of the 3 second period goals. Taking away Chris Dingman. Dingman plays it back into the Detroit zone. Wings get it right back out. Here's Duchesne. Cross center ice. Leaves it for Larionov. He'll play it along the boards behind Patrick Waugh. Waugh just wristing it up the boards. Jed Marsh is there. It's chopped down. Dandino tried to make a play. Well, the Avalanche come up with it. Dingman from center ice winds up, drives it right into the glove of Osgood. He sweeps it along the boards behind his net. Now Duchesne realizes Stephane Yell is there. Now Duchesne, the defenseman, has lost his stick. Chelios' partner plays the puck around the boards. Messier holding it in. Now Larionov hands his stick to Duchesne. Igor Larionov without a stick. And he's going to come up and glove it out to center ice, which he's allowed to do from one zone to the next. Again, a heads-up play by Larionov. Hellenius now failed to clear. Draper knocked it away. LaPointe rolls it back behind Patrick Waugh. Butsayev is there. He's run into by Hellenius. Now Draper and Butsayev. Puck is taken away by Eric Messier, and he'll start it back. Broken up center ice. Messier playing it along the boards behind Osgood.
From a coaching standpoint for Colorado, I think 5-on-5, Dave, they have to work a little bit harder for the loose battles. Right now, Detroit has that momentum, that edge.
Draper shot is blocked. Cleared, held in by Detroit. Here's Yuri Fisher getting it back from LaPointe. Shot to the net. Sails in just wide behind the net. Draper tried to center, but Chris Drury is right there.
The pinch-in play there by Aaron Ward. Looked like he caught Alex Tanguay a little off guard on the far side.
Don't forget the second game of our doubleheader. Penguins taking on the Mighty Duck of Anaheim. Jack Edwards, Brian Engblom will be there to call the action from the Arrowhead Pond. 3-2, Detroit leading. Colorado scored both first period goals, and the Wings answered with 3 unanswered in the second as that puck over the glass and out of play.
Average talent base coming up in Anaheim at the Pond. And you only have Solani and Correa, and you've only got Yager and Straka. Meanwhile, Joe Sakic defensively here. This is a key part because they're on the power play, but Brown now has the puck. On the right side of your screen, you can't see him yet, but it's going to be Fedorov. Now the defenseman, which now is Sakic. Let's stop it here. Sakic's choice right now is stay in the middle and let your goalie see the puck, or you've got to quickly go over there, but you have to make a decision at some point. Sakic sees it, now he's going to go over. So now Patrick Waugh sees what's happening, so he goes back into his crouch deep in his net. When the goalie doesn't know what the player's going to do or the defenseman's going to do, then he ends up challenging challenging, and everybody over challenges, and it's an easy empty netter.
Hayduk sent it up there. Sakic's long one-timer sailed wide of the net. Here's Yzerman with it. Outlets it to McCarty. He is checked by Hayduk as the puck rolls back inside the Colorado zone. Now Lidstrom back at the Detroit blue line. Hands it to Yzerman. He moves it across there. Murphy wanted to jump into the play, but mishandled the puck a bit. It comes back to Lidstrom. 4.5 gone by here in the third period. 3-2 Detroit. Dave Strader, Darren Pang, the rest of our ESPN2 National Hockey Night crew. Here is Sakic with it. Pulls the trigger on a shot that went off the skate of Murphy. It came to the line. Avalanche hold it in. They try to set it up for Claude Lemieux. Now it's picked up by DeVries. Sends it in deep for Sakic. Quick centering attempt. Osgood got the goal stick on it. Shanahan tries to clear. That is held in by DeVries. It goes to Sakic. Sakic shot. Deflects to the corner. Lemieux tries to hand it off for Milan Hayduk. Now it comes to McCarty. He tried to send it to center ice and banned on it. And the Wings will make a change. So will the Avalanche as Ozolin's backing up in his own zone. Lays it by everybody here, and it will be icing on the touch-up by Steve Duchesne.
Well, Patrick Roy in a 3-2 deficit facing Chris Osgood. As we mentioned before, they've dropped the goals in battle before, but they're battling for supremacy and save percentage in this league. And something that may surprise you, through their respective first 6 NHL seasons, Chris Osgood has accumulated 166 wins. Patrick Roy is going to be heading to the Hall of Fame, and he's going to catch Terry Sawchuk before he's done. In the same amount of time, his first 6 seasons, 158 wins. That may catch a lot of people by surprise. Yeah. All Chris Osgood has done in this league is won. And he continues that pace. He has a chance. I mean, you're looking long period down the line, but to catch Terry Sawchuk and eventually Patrick Roy, because Patrick Roy is going to pass the 447 wins, barring some unforeseen miraculous meltdown, which is just not going to happen.
Well, being healthy is a big part of it, and being part of a solid organization is another.
Yeah, they're committed to winning with Pierre Lacroix and the Colorado Avalanche. That's for darn sure. And they're committed to getting Patrick Roy the 447 wins. That's a priority. I've talked to a couple of their players and say that we want to get that 30 more wins for Patrick Roy, and he has a chance to tie the great Terry Sawchuk. But his career at Detroit, you see 5-7-0.
Yep, regular season here. He's not had a lot of luck. His goals against over 3, his save percentage under 90. Remember the first game of this rivalry after Patrick Roy had been traded from Montreal to Colorado was a 7-0 Detroit victory in this building as the Red Wings were on their way to their record 62 wins. Turned out to be maybe a good thing for the Avalanche because it brought them back to earth. And did they ever refocus for that Western Conference Final Series, which they won and went on to win the Stanley Cup? Drop pass, Fedorov the drive, set, rebound! And Roy may have gotten a piece of that. Here's Fedorov again. Hellenius rides into the boards, gives him a shove. Tanguay for the Avalanche, gives it off to Dedmar. Dumps it in wide of Osgood, who steers it to the corner. Drury protecting the puck against Doug Brown. Fedorov able to clear. Eric Messier, lead pass, Dedmarsh, who started the scoring in this game. Dedmarsh dumps it in. Osgood plays it back to the corner. Chelios able to get it to Matthew Dandino. Dandino got it to Duchesne. Duchesne bounces it in on Roy. He watches it go wide. Dandino plays it along the boards as he took a hit from Aaron Miller. Now Ozolin's handing it off for Sakic. Igor Larionov watching him. Now Larionov knocks it away from Aaron Miller, but Miller recovers. Sakic outlet pass, and Lemieux plays it to center ice. Lidstrom has it there. Now for Murphy. Knocked down by Larionov with a glove. 7 minutes gone by here in the third.
Super containment defensively by the Detroit Red Wings. Igor Larionov started it off with some terrific forechecking on Joe Sakic. He wouldn't give him any time. He wouldn't give him any space. And because of that, he's able to poke check Sakic, and he's never able to get control and break out of their own zone.
Ozolin wanted to step in with some speed there and just over-skated the puck. Here is Larionov with it. Lead pass, banks it perfectly. Now to Dandino, cutting in. Save made by Roy. And Dandino ends up in the net, knocking it off the mooring. But what a bank pass by Igor Larionov. Darren talked about him maybe being the smartest player in the league now that Wayne Gretzky's gone. How about the touch on that pass? And Dandino gets a great chance, but Patrick Roy keeps it at 3-2. National National Hockey Night at the Joe Louis Arena downtown Detroit, where the Red Wings lead the Avalanche by a score of 3-2. Been a rather quiet third period. Avalanche played a perfect road game in the first, rewarded with a couple of goals. Red Wings picked up the energy, took advantage of their power play. Right now the Red Wings protecting the one-goal lead. Here comes Dave Reed, the veteran forward. Tried to put it out in front. It is in front of Osgood. Picked up, though, by McCarty, who circles back. Took a slash there from Yell. Aaron Ward slides it out to center ice. Shanahan, a little tough pass for Yzerman. McCarty goes for the front of the net. Yzerman taps in front, tipped away. They try to get it back out in front, and DeVries is there for the Avalanche.
1 forechecker in, that's McCarty. Yzerman has gone off for a line change, and Shanahan pulls back on the left side.
Across the line, late man coming now is Podine. Podine snaps a shot deflected off the pad of Osgood.
For the defenseman, see the youngster, he was jumping up in the play. Big Martin Skula, wearing number 55, he went off for a change, but he is apt to jump into the play to create some offense. We're going to create some offense right now. John Buccigross.
Thanks, Panger. Hasek looking for his first win of the year. His team tied with Tampa Bay 3-3 late in the third, and James Patrick will get Dom his first win of the year finally. 4-3 Buffalo.
Well, Yuri Fisher, rookie defenseman for the Detroit Red Wings, and his parents, Vera and Yuri Fisher, here for the first time since the draft in Buffalo back in June of '98.
From the Czech Republic. Get a chance to get over there. Congratulations to Dominic Hasek. I never thought I'd have to say that this late in the season, but Dominic got the victory there with James Patrick with that goal so late.
For the Sabres.
That's a holy jumper.
Patrick Waugh fanned on the puck. It comes to Lapointe. Lapointe put it in front, and it deflected off the net to the right of Patrick Waugh. Some of the fans back there thought it may have gone in because they saw the movement of the twine. Now it comes to Milan Hajduk. He clears it out to center ice. Sakic trying to get there with his good speed, but it's recovered by Murphy. Plays it off the boards. Claude Lemieux. Well, the Avalanche slides it ahead. Here's Sakic trying to create something. Hands it off. Lemieux drops a shot. He just missed the net on the far side. Eric Messier with a shot. He missed the net. Kozlov is there, and he circles back now, being watched by Lemieux. Comes down to Lidstrom. Lidstrom lifts it high in the air. Glove down by the Avalanche. Recovered by Lidstrom. He moves it now, Larionov. Attacking the Colorado zone. It comes to Dandino. Try to put it out in front. Kalenius got a skate on it. Now it's taken away by Kozlov. Took it right away from Drury. Kozlov circles back toward the line. Hands it off down to Shane. His shot through traffic. Never made it all the way through. Drury plays it around the boards. Here comes Chelios for it. Chelios hands it off to Kozlov. Kozlov stuffs it in deep out in front. Dandino misfired on it. And sent it wide. And the Avalanche come back, and Drury able to send it ahead for Denmark. Oh, what a play. Angle on him, and Denmark's nearly able to step around and make a play on it.
Man, I thought he had that puck. He would have been all alone.
DeVries flips it in wide of Osgood as we pass the halfway mark of the third period.
So let's say defensively, you're going to try to defend against Fedorov's line, and then you've got Yzerman's line. Well, I tell you, Larionov's line has been the best offensive line in this hockey game.
Well, they have been putting on most of the pressure, and the Avalanche have to come up with an answer and score a goal to tie this one. They trail by one midway through the third. 92 career points as he closes in on the 1,000-point plateau in his outstanding career. Glancing up at the clock, knowing that his club needs a goal to tie this one. Of course, it was Sakic that scored in overtime in the last Colorado game, a 3-2 victory in Atlanta against the Thrashers. Patrick Waugh finds an open teammate, Claude Lemieux, up the boards. Now Lemieux out to center right. Being checked by Yzerman.
Smart play by Patrick Waugh on that breakout pass. Instead of going along the wall, what we call ringing it along the boards, he went direct tape to tape because Yzerman was pinching in, taking away the boards. And again, he does it. Another smart play. He struggled early. He had 4 turnovers in his first 5 times. He's been better as the game's gone on.
Sakic little foot pass, nearly able to lead Hajduk in. Hajduk has it back to the point. They dump it along the boards behind Osgood. It's chopped step by Lidstrom. Recovered by Brown. Brown outlet pass to Shanahan. He just deflects it out to center ice.
This line here with Sakic, Lemieux, and Hayduk, they have not generated any good scoring chance except for that breakaway by Sakic.
Here comes Holmstrom into the zone. Hands it off Doug Brown. Flips it back in. A pass saved by Patrick Waugh. Holmstrom got to wait for that puck to come off the boards. Now here's Brown with it. Feeds it through Holmstrom. Working against Skula. Now behind the net, here's Fedorov with it. Fedorov looking out in front, goes to Brown one time and missed it. Comes back to the line, Lidstrom able to hold it in. Holmstrom hands it off Doug Brown. Peeling away from the pressure, sets it up. Fedorov, a chance on a right hand save made there. And Patrick Waugh. Doug Brown holding it in again, hands it off. Holmstrom goes to Fedorov, he gets it to Larry Murphy. Save made by Waugh. This time it's cleared by the Avalanche. What a save by Waugh on the setup for Murphy. Now it comes to DeVries, his shot, handled by Osgood, and there's no rebound. More action coming your way. Another ESPN2 NHL doubleheader. 7:30 tomorrow. You'll see these Avalanche again as they travel to Philadelphia to take on Eric Lindros and the Flyers. Then at 10:30, Yager and the Penguins head to LA to square off against the Kings at the Staples Center.
Well, Patrick Waugh just made a fine save on Larry Murphy. He will not play, according to the coaching staff, in tomorrow night's game in Philly, where he's gotten 4-11-9. This youngster, Marc Denis, the goalie of the future for the Colorado Avalanche, will get the nod in Philadelphia. And Patrick Waugh just came off a terrific save, as we mentioned, as Marc Denis watches. Terrific puck move by the Fedorov line with Brown, and Larry Murphy comes up in the play. Patrick Waugh's got to go to his left and make a fine save with that left pad. So the youngster Marc Denis, who made 43 saves in his only appearance in the regular season so far, a 3-3 tie at Boston, October 11th. He was outstanding.
He was 8 years old when Patrick Waugh won his first cup with the Montreal Canadiens in 1986.
Well, Patrick Waugh is something special. Players look up to Patrick Waugh. He's a leader. In fact, Alex Tanguay, the young fella that was a first-round draft pick, is living at Patrick Waugh's house. He had a vote amongst the family members, and they voted him in. And so the youngster gets a thrill of a lifetime. He grew up a huge Northeast fan, grew up a huge Sakic fan, and now he's living downstairs in Patrick Waugh's home. Sure, the downstairs is quite elaborate and nice.
Oh, yeah. Sure, there's plenty of room for him there. 3-2, Red Wings continue to lead. And Patrick Waugh has turned aside a couple of great scoring chances recently to keep the Avalanche within one shot of tying this game. On Donovan along the board. Aaron Miller moves in now. Duchesne takes it away, and it's tipped by Draper out to center ice. Ozolinsh backing up, getting control. It's away from Draper. Now Ozolinsh again. One hands it across. It's knocked away. Donovan tries to push it in toward Osgood. Gandino staying with Sean Donovan. Chelios takes a swipe at it. It's still loose in the corner. Dave Reed for the Avalanche gets a stick on it. So does Donovan. Chelios checks him. Puck comes free again. Chelios hands it off for Duchesne. And Duchesne will get it to center ice. And didn't get very good wood on trying to get that puck deep. But he got it deep enough that the Red Wings can make the change they were looking for. Lemieux at center ice now for Colorado. His pass was broken up. Center ice. Kozlov. Valerianov back to Kozlov.
I hope coaches out there that are coaching minor hockey encourage playmaking skills like we're seeing with these guys.
Here's Larionov with it. Puts on the brakes. Hands it off to Kozlov. Tried to stuff it behind the net. It's deflected out in front. Claude Lemieux starts it back down. For the Avalanche. Right side for a second. Pass was behind him. Now Murphy. Drops it back. Lidstrom. To Kozlov, he just angles his stick to clear the puck back into the Colorado zone. Waugh comes out to clear it now for Hayduk. Hayduk, center ice, pushes it ahead. Lemieux is there. Lemieux left side for Hayduk, and Hayduk in ahead of the pass, just offside on the play. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the third period. The Red Wings continue to cling to a one-goal lead. Since the end of the first period when the Avalanche led 2-0. 3 goals in the second by Detroit. No scoring here in the third as the Wings have, as Darren put it, played an excellent containment game defensively. Ozolinsh gets it to Drury. Drury, his shot was blocked by Duchesne. McCarty diving, clears the zone.
Good play, and Brendan Shanahan was so deep inside his own zone helping out the two defensemen after Duchesne and McCarty had kind of stayed up in the play.
There is Drury's pass intended for Deadmarsh. Deflects it into the Detroit zone. Trying to stay on top of Duchesne. Now Tanguay came over to help out on the forecheck. Backhanded the line, but not out. Now it's cleared by McCarty. Picked up Shanahan. Eiserman to Shanahan. Unlike the Fedorov-Brown 2-on-1, Eiserman got rid of it early.
He sure did. Now it's all done by McCarty too on the left side, springing Eiserman. Eiserman looks up once. He knows that this stick is cocked and ready, so he makes a quick decision. It doesn't get any better than that if you're a goal scorer. For Shanahan, that's what he's looking for. Either pass it early or I'm going towards the net. When he passed it early, Shanahan is not going to miss. Not going to miss that play whatsoever. Eiserman looking, oh, well, that's a great super camera look, fellas, to get the look of the eyes, freezing everybody. And for Shanahan, I mean, that right there, that's like a 2-foot putt. Uphill with no break.
I don't know if it was that difficult. It looked easier than that. As here is Holmstrom. Second of the game for Shanahan. As he is starting to get untracked offensively. Doug Brown's shot was deflected away. McCarty gets an assist along with Eiserman. At 14:45 of the third period. Now behind the net, they try to set it up for Fedorov in front. Eric Messier blocked that. Here's Holmstrom with it. Goes back to the line for Lidstrom. Quickly redirects it for Brown. Brown to Fedorov. In deep for Holmstrom. Holmstrom pass intercepted by Sakic. Sakic able to clear it ahead. Claude Lemieux on the right wing side. Cuts to the center of the ice. Into the Detroit zone. Now it's kicked away by Lidstrom, but picked up by Sakic. Good play by Doug Brown to stay with Joe Sakic. Now it comes to Lemieux. Lemieux looking out in front for Hayduk, but it's knocked away by Lidstrom.
The fans are giving Patrick Wall the raspberries. I tell you, he was strong in this game. He had no chance on that. No chance whatsoever.
Again, a reminder, Jack Edwards, Brian Engblom from the pond in Anaheim. Penguins and the Mighty Ducks coming your way at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. We have 3:45 left in the third period here. The Avalanche in a huge hole now, have to make up a 2-goal deficit against the team with the best goals against average of the National Hockey League.
Colorado has struggled scoring more than 2 goals in a game, so it doesn't bode well for the Avalanche here, and especially on a road trip, on the road. They need something to spark them, and they need something to spark them in a hurry.
Now Stefan Yell drops it back to Breeze. Up the left wing side. LaPointe and Aaron Ward staying with Sean Podine. Deadmarsh comes in there, and we get a whistle to stop play. Well, Scotty Bowman, the winningest coach in the history of the National Hockey League. The only franchise that Scotty Bowman does not have a winning record against, the Quebec/Colorado franchise. You see an even 500 record. But he will go over the 500 mark if his club can hang on to this 2-goal lead with 3:04 remaining here in the third period.
Well, for the Avalanche, Dave, I mean, Scotty Bowman's looking good right now because the Avalanche have not scored more than 3 goals in a game this season. It's 10 games. That's their longest streak.
Managed to hit 3 a couple of times, but you're right, never more than 3 in a game. As Ariana up into the zone, tried to beat Kozlov, who was cutting in around Aaron Miller. So back the other way, Drury sets it up for Deadmarsh. Deadmarsh plays it off the boards and behind Osgood. Osgood will try to get it around Deadmarsh. And puck up in the air, finally comes down, still in the Detroit zone. Here's Drury with it. Chris Drury hands it off. Deadmarsh looking in front for Tanguay. Deflected in front, Osgood. He was looking around a couple of players in front of him on that deflection. Look at Dandino hustled out and trying to negate the icing, and or did he? Well, yeah, the linesman says he did. So.
Yeah, he did. Andy McKelman made the call, and so it's a good battle going back there. And the thing I liked about that is Dandino, didn't push him from behind. He lifted up his stick and tried to get it from Sandis Ojlins on a good one-on-one battle. Good effort by Dandino. He's one of the fastest skaters in the NHL. He's trying to lift up the stick right there, and the strength of Ojlins is quite impressive on that play. There's many fans of eliminating the icing altogether and going to the college rule where once it crosses the goal line that it's automatically blown down. We've seen so many injuries happen as a result of guys going real fast, and one player eventually has to face the boards. Ojlins did a great job of maintaining his balance.
Sakic and Yzerman, the two captains, will face it off here deep in the Detroit zone, where they stay with each other, and the puck as it goes to the corner. It comes free. Hayduk had it for a moment, but it's knocked away and cleared by Chelios. Now Hayduk with it, left wing side. Dumps it high up on the glass, so Osgood can't go back and handle it. Lemieux gets there for the Avalanche. Back around the boards. That was anticipated by McCarty. He just clears the zone. Back inside the Avalanche line. Under 2 minutes left in this one. Chris Osgood looks like he's going to keep his unbeaten streak alive. Red Wings have lost only one game, and that was in this building with Ken Reagan in goal against the Dallas Stars, a game that was seen here on ESPN2. Will be win number 7 of the season for Osgood. Here is Sakic, though, cutting in. Sakic trying to set something up, gets into the forehand, working against Larry Murphy, trying to stuff it in front. It was blocked. Now Murphy with it, plays it up on the left wing side. Fedorov has it there. Fedorov lead pass out of the reach of Holmstrom, and that's going to be icing against Detroit on the touch-up here by Eric Messier.
The Avalanche will tie up the road trip there tomorrow night. You see on ESPN2 at Philadelphia. But if you see all these games, this one's at home. 2 at home, Dave. 10 on the road. That's a tough grind right there. That is a very, very difficult grind, and they'll end that tomorrow night. One of the things that they have done and try to maintain their strength is drinking this supplement following every game. Do you know about the Endurox R4? Dr. Edmund Burke, the University of Colorado, he's an exercise physiologist. But this improves your recovery and strength. And so the strength and conditioning coach, Paul Goldberg, has forced the squad to have this after games. And they're going to need it. You know what? In order to get ready for tomorrow night's game against Philadelphia, they're going to have to, they're going to have to drink a lot of water and do that. You remember last year in the playoffs, the Buffalo Sabres were drinking Pedialyte.
Pedialyte, yep, to replace the fluids.
The grape was really good. The orange was very, very good.
Well, they asked a couple of the Avalanche players about this stuff, and Milan Hajduk says, it tastes good. I don't know what it does. It tastes good. They say it's good for me, so I'll drink it. So they have taken a timeout here, trailing by 2 with 1:21 remaining here in the third period, drawing something up. Looks like Patrick Roy is going to stay in net.
I should add to that that Endurox, though. There is no creatine, but it does have amino acids.
Okay.
Further that up.
Coming up next year on ESPN2, 10:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Pacific. Jaromir Jagr, as the Penguins will play just their 7th game of the year. They played only 6 games. They go against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Jack Edwards and Brian Engblom will have the call. Well, now Patrick Roy is skating over to the bench. I thought it was kind of strange they'd have the timeout and talk over strategy down by 2 and leave him in. So Patrick Roy goes to the bench. 6 attackers on for Bob Hartley with 1:21 to go.
Well, off the face-off here, Sakic will take the face-off, and Claude Lemieux is the right-hand shot, and Claude Lemieux's on the left side. Claude Lemieux's right up there, so look for him to step in here if he can. He's got a heavy shot.
Comes to Drury. Drury tried to backhand it in front. It was deflected behind the net. Avalanche puts it to the side of the Detroit goal. Now Denmark's with it. Centering pass. A chance. Save Osgood. Loose puck. Another chance never got through. That was Chris Drury that Chris Osgood robbed. Avalanche hands it off for Sakic. Drives the shot. Save. Rebound. Out in front. It goes all the way to the point. Less than a minute remaining now. In the third. It comes to Drury. Backhands it in front. Osgood a save. Scramble for the puck. Where is it? And it squirts out to the boards on the far side. Sakic has it again. Sakic working against Fedorov. Now it's centering it down. A chance here. Osgood a save and a second stop.
Oh, has he been outstanding? Just outstanding. He is playing street hockey in front of the net. Looks like all there is dark jerseys. I know there's a 6-on-5 situation. Patrick Roy on the bench for the extra man, and the Avalanche did an excellent job of keeping the puck down low, working the puck from behind in front of the net. All these quick little bang-bang kind of plays, like real quick, so you have to make quick decisions. And here's where Chris Osgood has really matured. His decision-making in the net, knowing he's taking away percentages. He's getting down real low here. Right now, it's just a scramble fest right here. He's just hoping that someone doesn't get that puck and put it underneath the crossbar and in, because then he's prone right there. He's down low, and he just made 3, 4, 5 really, really good saves. The all-time winners in the NHL, Ken Dryden there, 75% of the games he played and he won. Look at Osgood at 66.5%. And great Jerry Cheevers right there as well.
Face-off win by the Avalanche. Lemieux shot, score! And that may have been deflected. Claude Lemieux, as you drew it up on the last face-off, it happened this time just like the Avalanche won. And guess what? There's 36.8 seconds still on the clock. There is time for the Avalanche still to force an overtime in this game.
Well, you have to give them plenty of credit. There's no die here in the Colorado Avalanche, and they continue to go. Yzerman and Sakic got a good battle on the faceoff. Now Lemieux gets it, and McCarty can't get out to him. McCarty's trying to block the shot. It goes off the man in front. The right-hand shot, who is it? Adam Deadmarsh, maybe? I believe it went off the shaft of the stick of somebody right in front of the net. Good hard shot by Lemieux, who's keeping his head up, watching, and right here, it changes direction and goes up high. And if I'm not mistaken, that's Adam Deadmarsh there, right to the left of this fella's head. Yeah, there's no doubt. That's Deadmarsh. That's the second goal of the game. Perfect positioning by Adam Deadmarsh in front of the net. Good hand-eye coordination.
Big face-off win set it up. Patrick Watt stays on the bench for the center ice face-off. It comes down to Lemieux. On the right side, Deadmarsh. Center ice. Stepping up was Lidstrom. Now Ozil in center ice. And it knocked away.
For some good 5-on-5 and even strength play in those old empty netters. But he drew the play because he forced Ozilins to turn it over. He took one little look and made sure he fired it in the net. Those are situations where the players feel like they're, almost embarrassed to shoot them in the empty net. But you know what? When you're on the ice, you want to make sure you cap off a victory. I mean, if you just hand it over, I've seen that happen many times where you don't shoot in the empty net and everything comes down and they score and tie it up. When you have a chance to score, you put that puck in the net.
Fires it in well wide of Patrick Waugh, so the Avalanche give them credit. They hung in there, but Chris Osgood remains unbeaten on the season.
Well, Osgood made the saves when they need to make the saves. And you think back to the second period when it was 2-2 and Joe Sakic had that breakaway trying to go high glove. Osgood was calm, cool, and very, very patient in the net. When the Red Wings needed the saves, he gave them the saves.
So the final score with the empty net goal, the Red Wings 5 and the Colorado Avalanche 3. The game-winning goal set up perfectly by Red Wing captain Steve Yzerman, who himself had a lot of good chances tonight. And the long one-timer by Brendan Shanahan